My name is Amol Nirgudkar. I'm the CEO of Patient Prism, and I am delighted to welcome Jon Fidler with Fidler Associates here. And a topic that we're discussing today is executive recruiting and everything surrounding that. So my question to you right away is what are the top 5 mistakes that you've seen people make in recruiting? Obviously, you've come from baseball, then you've been in Patterson for a long time, and now you're doing this in this space because you've learned a lot of lessons from sports. You've learned a lot of lessons from working for one of the largest dental organizations in the world, and now you've been recruiting very successfully for the last 2 years, helping dental support organizations, hire the right team members so that they can help go to the next level. So what are those mistakes, right? What are the top 5 mistakes that everybody makes, right? All have made them. And I'll confirm with you if I've made the same ones. But just talk about us. What mistakes are you've seen the most in your entire career?
Yeah, and it's not just in DSO or just in Patterson or just in distribution or any. It's kind of hiring in general. And typically, the number one thing that I see is that there's such a pressure point that people are getting pulled so fast is they hire too quick. They just want to fill that spot, and maybe it's not the exact right person. Maybe they're settling a little bit, but they just want to hire really quick. I see that all the time.
So hiring too quick, I agree. I've done that, believe me. As soon as I love them, perfect, start tomorrow.
Yep,
right?
And haven't checked their background or anything. We just need to fill it. And so that's obviously number one. I think another thing too that folks get into sometimes is hiring folks that are maybe a little bit too close to them, whether it's family or friends or just because they enjoy hanging out with somebody or they have a family member that's in need of a position and they can help out. They bring them in, and ultimately, it may be a short-term fix, but I always say let's just close our eyes and picture the next holiday. And you want everybody there. You want the whole family there, and sometimes that doesn't happen when business and financials get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that happening quite a bit in dentistry, quite a bit, especially on a smaller practice level. Sometimes you can trust the family members to do the right thing, but they may not be the right C-suite team, right?
Correct.
They might be great to handle the petty cash, right? Because they won't steal it.
Correct.
You hope, but you want to make sure that they have the right skill set. Because the goal for this, right, the C-suite team is to help you establish processes and systems that's going to help you scale.
And I think that almost leads in right to the next one too. Is on some of the smaller ones. You are being financially conservative. You want to bring in somebody that can help, and maybe you can get by without paying them as much because they're doing it as a favor. But then that also leads to the possibility of maybe over-titling somebody that you have brought in.
Calling them VP,
Yes, calling them VP when really, the Vice President of Finance, when they're really maybe a controller level or maybe a bookkeeper. And so, but they've been with you since the beginning. You want to reward them, and you want to maybe balance out, I can't really reward fiscally, so I'm going to over-title somebody to keep them involved and engaged in the group. So that's another one that
I don't know who said this recently. I read where I think it was Steve Jobs or somewhere else. He said, the guys who kind of get you from point A to point B are not the people that are going to get you from point B to the next level. Right. And sometimes you can make a mistake in calling them a vice president when they don't have the wherewithal to be that.
And a lot of folks, are able, like you said, to perform up to a certain level, and there's a whole human resources principle, the Peter principle, where you hire and you promote people to where they fail. And so basically at the end, because they've done a good job as an office manager, let's promote them to something else, but that might not be their specialty. So now you have folks running the company that are not in the right spots.
Absolutely. What another mistake you see?
So I think another thing that we see too is, everybody wants the perfect candidate, and they want the Wharton business background. They would like 10 years experience in the field, but yet they want to pay $35,000. And so a lot of times the underpay for the experience needed is something too that we have to work with.
And then we've got 4. So what is there a 5th one?
Yeah, and I think too, just narrowing your candidate pool. So trying to say, hey, they need to have this much experience in just this segment, when there may be some other segments that cross over
like dermatology, ophthalmology. And there are some segments that you can come in.
And the skills transfer over nicely. So you don't want to limit yourself.
And we've seen this happen recently even at Patterson, right? somebody from a great leader from McKesson has come over, and it can sometimes bring in new energy and new perspective into an industry that you may not have had.
Yes.
So those are the 5 mistakes that we've seen. Thank you for those, and I hope our audience heeds these warnings because it can make or break your process, and you don't want to kind of stall your growth because you made these mistakes of hiring too quick, hiring family and friends, and so forth. So thank you so much for this for the discussion.
Thank you.
We'll continue talking more.
All right.